Well, hello there. Welcome to the next episode of the Mech Warrior 3 single player campaign modded added enemies. This is your humble host, Dan, as most people know me, AncientxFreako. Why did I pick that nickname? I picked that nickname a long time ago, back in the old Mech Warrior 3 days. Because, why was it? Oh, you know what? I can't really remember. But Freako came from the combination of one of my favorite Star Trek characters, Krako. And one night, I went home to visit my mom when I was in my 20s, and I had really, really long rock and roll band hair growing out of my head, and she called me a freak. She said, "You look like a freak." So I combined freak and Krako and got Freako. That's how I came up with Freako. And ancient, I guess I put ancient in front of it because I was usually the oldest player in the game. I'm pretty old. I'm probably old enough to be everybody's father. Let's see. So here we are. Operation 2, Mission 1. You all know what's coming. We got a bunch of elementals. I salvaged the Orion from the last mission. And I salvaged some other stuff. Now, I usually, if I have enough... See, the whole reason why I created a way to salvage inner sphere ferrofibrous armor is because a lot of my custom stock mechs, which you can use as templates for your builds during the missions, a lot of my custom stock mechs come with a large amount of inner sphere ferrofibrous armor. I mean, you know, when you've got an inner sphere mech, the stock mech that you program into the game, it has to default with inner sphere tech, or inner sphere armor, inner sphere weapons. So there's a couple of inner sphere Orions that have 15 tons of ferrofibrous armor. So that's why, if I have enough at this point in the game, in the salvage queue, that I'll use, you know, the 15 tons of armor on the Orion if I can. For those of you who weren't able to salvage the Orion, I gotta tell you, it's a chancy thing. It's kind of like a random thing. You know, because what I try to do is I try to leg as few of the other mechs as possible, because when you leg a mech, that's how the game salvages. It'll salvage a mech if you leg an enemy mech, or if you shoot them in the cockpit. If you kill somebody in the cockpit, they'll salvage that mech. The game will salvage that mech. If you shoot them in the leg, if you take the leg out, it'll salvage that mech. Anywhere else, it's a crapshoot. Probably not. But the other thing is, if you've got more than one mech on that list of possible salvage, the game chooses randomly. So let's say in the last mission you legged the Strider, and you legged the Owens, and you legged the Orion, and maybe you legged one of the Shadowcats. It may or may not choose the Orion. The game might choose one of the Shadowcats, or it might choose a couple of the small mechs, and you'll be shit out of luck. One other thing is that I've been meaning to mention is a lot of you are picking up the tag laser during the first operation area. There are several opportunities to pick up a tag laser, and you've probably noticed in all my videos that I have not salvaged one, and I'm going to tell you why. Because whether you're the player using a tag laser, or whether the AI characters are using a tag laser, if that component area in that mech gets destroyed, and the tag laser will get destroyed. So if the tag laser is mounted in a torso, and any part of your mech gets destroyed, then that tag laser will get destroyed. So unless you leg a mech, you won't salvage a tag laser. basically, is what I'm telling you. So right here, I'm going for an basically an LRM boat, and the two groups of Ultra ACs and the lasers are secondary weapons. Now, I chose the medium laser because I happen to know the subtle differences between all the lasers that I put in the weapons mod. The medium lasers, the medium inner sphere lasers, even though they're short-ranged, they have a little bit of an advantage over the extended range medium lasers in that they have a shorter fire time. So you can get more damage in less time. So basically, it's easier to cause damage with them because they hit quicker. And the ER smalls, they hit they're pretty much instantaneous, like the the vanilla game did lasers. The ER large and the large are subsequently take a little bit more time than the ER mediums. They have a little bit longer of a fire time, but so the ER mediums are really the way to go. But you sacrifice range. The range is 360 meters as opposed to 600 meters in the ER mediums. Now, I guess I'm giving Dominic's mech some heavy armor, I believe, and just some, I guess, what is it? Three large lasers. That's a powerhouse. That's a pretty powerful punch. And is it 3? I think it's 3. Yeah, it's 3. And then a bunch of machine guns for cooldown. So he's going to cause a lot of damage. Assuming he uses group fire. I've been having trouble with that when it comes to the AI characters, getting them to use group fire. So we'll see what he does. But for this mission, I'm mainly going to take the lead with him as backup. So when you lead your lance mates around, you have to remember that they have to be able to keep up with you, and you have to lead them around obstacles. If you walk through a complicated area of terrain, they can get stuck. Or if you're walking straight up to like a dead mech that's laying in the ground, and you go around him, your lance mate might not go around him. So you have to realize that they follow you around like a moth to a flame. And if you use that mentality in your planning, then you'll have a better time with the lance mates. Another thing I like to do is I will approach a battlefield, and I'll make sure that they're all following me. And I'll approach the battlefield on a diagonal, and then as soon as I begin to get into range, I'll go into that perpendicular direction, perpendicular to the enemy, and they'll follow me that way. And as soon as they form a skirmish line, that's when I order them to attack, so that they have focused firepower as they approach the enemy. Anyway, you'll probably see me do that quite a few times as these missions progress. One thing I wanted to mention about the last mission, when my mech was damaged and I was trying to get out of the water, and towards the end, before I came back and battled the elementals, when I was trying to get out of the water, after I did get out of the water, I wanted you to go back and realize that as I retreated, I did a combination of a retreat and a perpendicular direction, or a diagonal. I retreated on the diagonal. So I was mentioning earlier that I like to, I never approach the enemy head on. I always like to approach the enemy like I'm approaching, like the way I'm attacking these bulldogs, either on the diagonal or on the perpendicular. Obviously, you don't present a perfect target. And when it comes to the AI characters, it's really their Achilles heel, except for lasers. Lasers and missiles But even missiles, you can dodge missiles in this game. But when it comes to lasers, depending on how their AI setting is adjusted, they can be deadly accurately with lasers, and that's pretty much it. Everything else, when it comes to ballistic weapons and anything that's not a laser, that's their Achilles heel. If you move perpendicular to them, the shots will, for the most part, go right by you. Sometimes they'll get you, but it's very seldom. So now I'm waiting on that Strider. I know the Strider is coming, and I'm going to send Dominic to destroy the Strider after I help him out a little bit. Always try to give your lance mates some support. So if you're going to send them after an enemy, help them soften up the enemy first at least, and then send them in, you know? Or as they go in, soften them up a little. I'm being efficient right here, you know? That's just the way I play these battles. I've done it so many times, you know, it's like clockwork sometimes. So while he does that, I go after these two guys. Let me just remark about my weapons loadout. That is, what is it? It's 8. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's 8 LRM5s. That's 40. That's like 2 LRM20s. And you can get a lot of knockdowns used, as you can see. When you have 40 missiles, that's when you get a knockdown. So that's enough of a missile boat to really give yourself a good advantage. Cause a lot of damage and knock them down. And when you knock them down like that, you know, it helps your lance mates live longer too. So this guy's already, he's beat up. So you'll notice, I mean, I softened both these guys up before I sent Dominic in after. And that's a good strategy to have. So now we're not gonna go in the tunnel. I know I've seen a few videos of people recording games using the vanilla mode of the game, the original game. I see them enjoying going down that tunnel, and it's fun. It's fun. I mean, I've done it before. You know, there's lots of ways that you can go through these missions. Now, as you come up here, these two turrets are firing at you. I believe they have Ultra AC2s. They might be Ultra AC5s, I don't remember. But I basically like to take them out at range, and the Ultra AC2s are, you know, 900 meters, I believe. The other day, I just finished completely retexturing the C1 world, which is the previous operations area. And yesterday, I just started retexturing this operations area, and it's starting to look good. But I mean, this video was done before I started that, so. And I remember playing this vanilla game, going through this particular mission, the vanilla mission, literally thousands of times. And when it was the vanilla missions, not modded AI, not extra enemies, I remember having trouble. And, you know, so don't feel bad if you have trouble, even with the vanilla missions. It takes a while. I've played the hell out of this game over the last, what's it, almost, is it 20 years yet? Yeah, my goodness. It's been, let's see, 1999? 20 years, folks. 20 years. So here we are with another elemental battle. And just as before, they're not as deadly as they were before because the adjustment, the last update to the weapons mod made to the machine guns. Now right there, I'm killing a few with splash damage of LRM5s. And the reason is there's so many of them. There's so many LRM5s in a chain fire barrage that you get a lot of splash damage, which is taking them out. You're not going to have that happen with only a few LRM5s. So I'll probably be getting myself refitted pretty soon. Pretty low on armor. But when I fitted this mech, this Orion, I was low on ferrofibrous armor in the salvage, so I went with standard. In case you didn't notice, I know I was talking about the ferrofibrous, so I figured I'd mention that. Now this Blackhawk is a Blackhawk Prime, and if he starts shooting at you, you're dead meat, because those lasers. Blackhawk Prime has, what is it, six ER medium lasers. And I have to tell you, I'll be adjusting his parameters so that he will misbehave a little bit more. But before I changed the lasers, I changed the lasers around, as I mentioned earlier. I gave them a longer fire time. And before I did that, though, I had a few versions of the campaign where that Blackhawk was just unstoppable. I would get within range and he would take me out so fast. Because that was back when the lasers shot instantaneously. Now I can readjust his parameters and get him to shoot, deadlier like that and be more aggressive. I can do that, and I will. So you better practice up, kids. So this mission is pretty much a breeze. Got a few more neat tricks up my sleeve before it's over, so we'll stick around. But at the moment, I think I'll talk about the next mission. I think the next mission, the underground mission, is where a lot of people get frustrated because, my little added enemies campaign, it takes it up a notch in the next mission. And, well, you have to get some salvage, and you basically have to be ready. It's nice if you can salvage the Thor that's coming up, so that Dominic can have a pretty tough mech going into the next mission. And, well, you better make a couple of pretty interesting boats. The Lance Mates have they do their best work with missiles. So if you give your Lance Mate a decent missile boat, you'll do well. So coming up, I'd like to, once I take out these turrets, a lot of people will go and take a left right here, head straight right into trouble. But the best thing to do is to circumvent, not go right at your enemy. So right here I'm going to take out these turrets, and then I'm going to continue around in a circle. As you do that, you'll notice that the landscape provides a lot of cover. So there's a MFB point right in front of him, right here, right in front of that ramp. So I'm bringing the MFBs over here in case shit goes wrong, but I don't think it's going to. Take out that mine. Okay, so give this guy a little long-range hit. 40 LRMs. And give the champion a little long-range barrage. After I take this guy out at range. There's no sense in duking it out with him. When you've got LRMs, baby, take them out. Sayonara. Sayonara, kid. Now we got the champion. Do the same thing. The nice thing about this champion is he's got inner sphere ferrofibrous armor. What I should do is I should walk right up to him and just take his leg out. That way I can salvage as much of his armor as possible. The more damage you do to him, the less armor you're going to salvage, which is it's not what you want. And apparently it's not what I want this time around either. Oh, there we go, a little legged. But I took out a lot of his armor. And now I'm using a lot of my ammo. Now coming up, see right now I'm outside the range of the liftoff of that ship and the coming of the Thor. Two things I want you to think about. The Thor is a Thor C, which has an Ultra AC 20. That means you want to stay 360 yards away from him. Meters, excuse me. Now, if I have enough ammo and enough weaponry, I like to try and take this thing out. You get extra points for it. But obviously, my Ultra AC2s aren't doing it. What I should have done is I should have sent a salvo of those LRMs, but I didn't. Now, best thing to do is leg this guy. So you get him at range. You don't even go within his range at all. You don't have to. Now, I focused those LRMs at a low angle like that because I was going after his leg. Maybe nobody else is really aware that you can do that, but you can. And it was fortuitous that he chose to jump jet right then and there because the LRMs hit him right in the leg. I got lucky. So that's it for this mission. Pretty damn easy, not too hard. It'll probably be more difficult when I redo it. I am redoing all these missions to include with the next iteration of the weapons mod. So you won't have to, download the campaign separately. It'll be included, as well as improved AI versions of the instant action missions, and some fixes as well. And that's me goofing around for the camera. And that's it. That's pretty much it. I'll see you on the next mission, and get ready for a whopper, because you all know it's a bad one. It's a real bad one, man. You better eat your Wheaties. Freako out.
2 more contacts, Lance Leader. Epona Ree from Team 3, and Keith Andrew from our own commando. Epona Ree is northeast of our position and moving to rendezvous. She was first from Team 3 to drop. We may be able to find others, and even the Black Hammer itself.
Misery loves company. Isn't that one of Blake's old sayings?
Keith Andrew actually dropped inside Operations Area 3 and is currently limited in movement by heavy clan patrols. The Eclipse's company is working their way in to break him free. We have to take some of the pressure off.